just wanna let it shine. There is no good or better. I think tonight I'm gonna make it mine. 1, 2, mean right hook. Come and test me, my mom deep will have you shook. It's a marathon, but baby girl, never let up. No need for speed, but keep your foot up on the gas pedal. Ain't worried about having a golden award when God made me to be an ice cold meadow. Why are you always pressed about my life? Talking with your friend and me's about me, saying, ooh, girl, have you seen her like the shine lights? You tried, but you could never dim my light. Please know I'm untouchable, girl. I'll slip through your fingers like a real fly kite. Why you wanna turn a good day into fight night? Constantly projecting all the negativity. Take that bad energy and go and get your mind right. Say a prayer tonight to keep your soul tight. You in the big world of danger, cause you dwell in that drama. I put the work in, now I got the big bags that you call Birkins. My world has come together, and maybe I just wanna let it shine. There is no good or better. I think tonight I'm gonna make it mine.
Good morning, good morning, good morning.
My world has come together, and maybe I just wanna let it shine. There is no good or better. I think tonight.
Check, mic check. Good morning, everybody. Now y'all can hear me. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Good people. Hope y'all got your coffee, tea, whatever it is you need to get your morning started, y'all. Happy Friday! Woo!
Every day is just the beginning.
Made it, we made
Take it
it.
to the bank, now I'm winning.
Long weekend. No, it's not. It's a good weekend. Ain't got nothing to do. My ass in. Oh, motherfucker.
The Benjamin Dixon Show is only possible with listener support. Go to www.patreon.com/The BPD Show.
Back, everybody. It is Wednesday, November 17, 2021. Thanks so much for joining me. I am not joined by my brother from another mother, even though you heard his voice. You heard the voice of DJ Exclusive, but he's not here with us today. We are finally giving our brother a day off in earnest. I think this might be the first week, everybody, that DJ Exclusive has actually gotten a day off. So shout out to our brother on his day off. I want to talk real quick about someone who's I'm gonna be honest with you. Joe Madison is a legend, the Eagle, in radio. He's been doing radio probably longer than I've been alive. Sorry if that's overestimating that, Joe. But he's going on a hunger strike. I'm going to discuss this a whole lot more in depth as I get a chance to speak with my friend Cliff Albright from Black Voters Matter, because of the reason that Joe Madison is going on the hunger strike. It is to bring attention to the need for Congress to pass a voting rights bill. We've seen results of the gerrymandering that is taking place, the redistricting. We've seen the results of the voter suppression bills across the country. We've seen the crackdown intentionally on Black voters. And yet the Congress has not done anything, particularly because of people like Joe Manchin and Kyrsten Sinema. Well, famed radio host Joe Madison has had enough, and he's going on a hunger strike. So we want to send solidarity and love and bring attention to it. So everyone who's listening and watching, please go over to his social media, whether it is Facebook or Twitter, and send some love and encouragement. He's not a young whippersnapper. Heck, I don't know if I could do a hunger strike, notwithstanding I don't have James here to laugh with about me going on a hunger strike. But still, just it takes a lot out of you. if you followed hunger strikes like we have, we had those sisters who were striking on behalf of the Palestinian plight of the Palestinian people. We've had the hunger strike to bring attention to what's happening to indigenous populations. And these hunger strikes take a high toll very quickly. So please send in some encouragement over there to our brother, Joe Madison, famed radio host, and one of the people who actually kind of inspired me to get into this format. Speaking truth to power through media.
Yeah, Ben, we do have sound on that, so we can play some of his announcement. But good morning, everyone. I just wanted to mention that, like, a lot of people, I feel like, kind of swat away or make light of hunger strikes. Like, oh, we fast. There's holidays where I fast, or, you know, you can go without food for 2 weeks, but it really depends on a person's health, person's age, and you know, what your body's going through.
Do me a favor, Babatunde, do me a favor and run that. I don't mean to, well, I wanted to run it as a B-roll so people could see it, but let's pause here and run the clip. Here's Joe Madison announcing his hunger strike, and David, we'll get right back to you. Let's run that clip.
I'm going on a hunger strike. I'll just say it. Now let me read the statement that I released, that's been released this morning. I'll read it. You can go, it's online. You can go online. It's online. I've shared it with a few individuals before this morning. So, as a political protest, I am beginning a hunger strike today by abstaining from eating any solid food until Congress passes and President Biden signs the Freedom to Vote Act or the John Lewis Voting Rights Advancement Act. Now, both bills have recently passed by the House of Representatives. Both are stalled in the Senate. Neither bill has garnered the requisite of 60-vote majority and have been unable to circumvent the required majority due to the Senate filibuster rule. Now, as all of you know, my show is action-oriented. It personifies taking action. I always say, what are you going to do about it? Now, again, questions will be asked. Well, aren't you concerned about your health, about yourself? And I'll tell you what my response to that is. I have 4 children, 5 grandchildren, and 1 great-grandchild. I am more concerned about what's going to happen to them and our country. And this is not business as usual. It simply is not business as usual. I have never, and this is what I'm hearing and seeing, I've never seen this kind of fear since the Civil Rights Movement.
So, that's Joe Madison. And again, I've been following him for, I've been following his work for years. And it's good, David, to see him. I know he's been a man of action. This is a big thing, though. And you were getting ready to say the kind of effects that it has. I wanted you to hold that to this part because I wanted people to see. A lot of people may not know who Joe Madison is, but he's an older guy. And when we were talking about hunger strikes, David, you were getting ready to say something. Go for it.
Yeah, no, just that you don't, there's underlying issues, there's age, there's stresses, don't know what's going on in someone's life. And to especially I'm not sure if you mentioned his age. I don't know how old he is per se, but clearly he's up there. So it's just a matter of like taking that into consideration. And it's not necessarily a joke. We even saw the young people outside the White House, I think 10 days in, less than 2 weeks, where they were testing their blood pressure and preparing to go to the emergency room because they couldn't really function.
Right. So we want to keep our eyes on this and just, everyone send encouragement via social media to Brother Joe Madison. He's on Twitter. He's on Facebook for sure. But show some love and support. And we're standing in solidarity with them. I want to shift gears to something that I've noticed in the Republican movement. This is the new play. Republicans need a boogeyman. There's never going to be a time that the conservative movement doesn't need a monster or a bad guy for you to be afraid of. What they are doing right now is slowly and meticulously setting up the argument for China to be the new boogeyman. And I don't mean in just a minor fashion in terms of a news cycle or a talking point, but I'm talking about actual belligerence and potential conflict with China. We see this building up consistently through the language of Senators Tom Cotton, Senators Ted Cruz. We even heard in our clip earlier of Senator Mitch McConnell, who's a Republican minority leader, talking about build back Beijing, pointing to creating a wedge issue between the Biden administration's attempt to build back better and some type of servitude to quote unquote communist China. Now, I said all that to set up this conversation about President Biden having his first virtual meeting with President Xi Jinping, which really is an attempt to put back together and to mend the divide that came as a result of the relentless attack on China from the Trump administration, particularly around COVID-19. And how much people like Senators Rand Paul from Kentucky use China as a scapegoat to push and to deflect away from the mishandling of COVID-19 by the Trump administration. So instead of taking responsibility for their mishandling of COVID-19, the Trump administration inflamed tensions with China and created a wedge that now President Joe Biden is trying to mend. No major outcomes came from this initial communication, but it is important for us to understand the lay of the international land. On the international stage, China is a major actor that we must recognize and we must work with. They have as much autonomy on the international stage as any other actor. And it is not for the United States of America to be the dominant actor and to put everyone else in check. This is the type of mindset that had us in Afghanistan for 20 years and $2 trillion spent, along with all of the lives that were lost. It's that kind of belligerence that is being constantly woven by war hawks, warmongers who were not satisfied with 20 years in Afghanistan. They want us to go another 20 years, not only in Afghanistan, but by the way, let's get into a conflict with China, which is something that we simply cannot afford, David. We cannot afford the kind of bellicose language that comes from these half-baked Republicans who only know one thing, which is to discuss war and to create a wedge between global actors because they need a boogeyman. And of course, and to be sure, I have no need to give the caveats about all the things that are wrong with China. That I don't have to give, because we're looking at America at this point. We're looking at the United States of America making a situation worse because our leadership, Republican leadership, will not take the opportunity for us to have peace. They want to make it an issue for war. And David, if you, I know you wanted to chime in there. Go ahead.
It's almost as if, I mean, it's not a shocker, but it's almost as if we just, haven't gotten the hint that policing the world doesn't work. Of course, there is the military industrial complex. So there's dollars behind all of this. and there's, and as everything goes digital and less physical, it's not as blatant warlike as we would define it, I guess, because everything's, behind the scenes, and
they're drones now,
drones and hacking and whatnot. So it's not felt per se by the public as much as it used to be, but it still has real world consequences while, people behind the snes are getting paid.
Right. And that's exactly right, because there's $2 trillion. You have to ask yourself the question, would people be willing to kill for $2 trillion? And I think the real question is how many people would they be willing to kill for $2 trillion? Where there's 5 defense contractor companies in Virginia right now that we can ask that question. How many people were they willing to kill to get that kind of profit? And we see 20 years worth of war. It is nothing for them to now move that target away from the Middle East and move it to China. Because, there's not, we had an entire Cold War, didn't we? We've already been through this. We had an entire Cold War with Russia, which was not an ideological pursuit as much as it was an economic pursuit for the military industrial complex, like you said, David.
Yeah, it's really amazing, like the how selective we are in. Not to go off topic too much, but it's amazing how selective we are in the people we idolize and the things that we remember from history. Because compare Eisenhower, who historically was the first to call out and warn about the military-industrial complex, to his party today. That's right.
Night and day difference. It is, we'd be lucky to get Democrats to be as bold calling out the military-industrial complex in 2021 as Dwight Eisenhower was calling out the military-industrial complex in his final speech leaving office. I want to shift gears a little bit to the pandemic because, we still are in a pandemic. While most of the world most of America is trying to pretend as though we can get back to normal, the fact of the matter is we're losing about 1,000 people every day. In the backdrop of that pandemic, Pfizer and Merck, Pfizer is considering to allow a generic form of their pill to be manufactured. Pfizer is going to allow its COVID pill to be made and sold for a cheaper price in poor countries. On November 16th, Pfizer announced that it had signed a licensing agreement with the United Nations-backed Medicines Patent Pool, permitting more global access to its pill. The agreement with the Public Health Organization would let generic manufacturers mass produce the pill in 95 low and middle income nations. Now, the company has said that this would help to provide the experimental COVID-19 pills to 53% of the global population. But in order to work, Pfizer's pill, Paxlovid, needs to be given in tandem with another antiviral drug known as ritonavir. According to the pharmaceutical company, an interim analysis of its clinical trial showed an 89% efficacy rate in reducing coronavirus-induced hospitalization or death when given to participants within 3 days of exhibiting symptoms. Now, there's more, but I think that is enough for you to understand how significant this pill can be in fighting back against the pandemic. David.
What was interesting to me on this one was that as we were, pulling the facts together and looking at this, they're doing this on the antiviral pills, but still no action on the vaccines. And obviously, exactly. It's not just on the pharmaceuticals. I can take that back. It's not just on the U.S. because we know Germany's been one of the biggest sticking points in stubbornly refusing to cooperate and move on that. But and that's probably because of German pharmaceuticals. But they're doing this on an antiviral pill, which will be helpful, in a lot of extreme cases, and help the poorer countries. But it's not a big enough solution.
Right. It's pretty absurd to give the people the pill after the fact when you're not willing to give them the vaccine to keep them from getting the virus in the first place.
Right.
But I guess it's better than dying, right? I guess that's what they're saying.
It's like let them get into the hospital, let them use resources, let them be in jeopardy, let the spread continue, So it's not, because remember, it's not just the person that's sick. And then we'll just, then we'll give them some pet pills.
Right. And see, David, that's the thing. That's the thing about it. It's like, it's a level of absurdity in our face, right? That's the clear hypocrisy. I am desperate to know their justification. Why such a reduction here? And I mean, don't get me wrong. I know that, no, hang on. I was about to give them a caveat that they don't deserve. Forgive me. These manufacturing companies that are producing the vaccine, they don't deserve a caveat, because they are still, at the end of the day, they are there for their profit. They are making their money while the vaccine is free to us, as it should be. And while we are grateful that the vaccine exists, and I want to encourage everyone to go get the vaccine, we are also fully aware that these corporations are making every bit of profit margin that they could ever imagine making right now. And I guess, David, I just answered my question, because they can still make their profit margins that they want on that vaccine, but they need to get this pill into the conversation, so they drop the prices on it.
Yeah, I'm going to, and I would tie this into, the story with China, actually, because we know that Biden spoke with the Chinese president about the pandemic and about COVID. I don't think they released many details on it, because they rarely do. But the whole lack of cooperation with WHO and research and so that we can try to avoid having this happen again. I don't think we've seen movement on that either.
Well, that's because we have so much political, we have a political choke point, right? We can't get past this impasse where you have the likes of Rand Paul, who has committed his entire life during the pandemic to pointing to the Wuhan lab, so that could be the red herring that keeps everyone looking away from the fact that this pandemic did not have to be this bad. No matter where the virus came from initially, how we responded to it, particularly how the Republican administration last responded to it, that exacerbated this pandemic. But instead, China, I'm glad you brought it up, China has become the necessary and very easy scapegoat as it pertains to doing anything to move forward on this pandemic. Why? Because anytime we actually talk about progress, little man Anthony Fauci ends up, having to have it out with Rand Paul and his, fake doctor degree having behind, spreading conspiracy theories about China and the Wuhan lab. Meanwhile, the corporations are making hand over mouth with, hand over foot money, because the pandemic is spreading uncontrolled. I know we sound like conspiracy theorists sometimes, but it's kind of at the point where it's like, it's right in front of us, folks. Go ahead, Patunde.
Yeah. So, I mean, you guys talked about this from the pharmaceutical level in terms of like sort of what their responsibilities are, or them, I guess, running away from what their responsibility at least should be with the pandemic. But the thing I'm actually curious about, or that kind of would fascinate me about this scenario is actually kind of more of a surface level scenario in that, how do ordinary people react to this pill? Because, you have the anti-vaxxers who are, adamantly against, this whole situation in terms of putting anything into your body. Well, what about a pill? Are you guys okay with it? Because if you're okay with the pill, then I'm really confused
why not the vaccine?
What's going on. Yeah, exactly.
They're okay with any.
Yeah.
They're okay with any pill that's not pushed by the, by the public advocates or the administration or anyone in an office.
Which brings us to the tragedy of the commons, man. There's an article. There's an article. Well, actually, yeah. Before I go off on my little philosophical tirade, Tunde, I want you to finish fleshing out your thought.
No. That was basically it. I'm just. It's going to be funny to see sort of the conversation that takes place around this, because, if we start venturing into, oh, well, we also don't like these pills. Well, it's okay. Well, why stop at this Pfizer pill? Advil, are you against this too? Are you against, like where does it actually stop?
Listen,
because none of us are actually like doctors. So I don't, or scientists. So, everyday ordinary people, this conversation is going to get a lot more confusing if they're also against this thing too.
Oh, how is an anti-vaxxer going to navigate? Well, easily. They handle this cognitive dissonance pretty easily, right? Mm-hmm. They have no problem with the hypocrisy because they're bad faith actors. And the other thing, David, that you were saying is there's a component of this that is intentional. It is the aspect of the public advocating for something collectively that is under attack. Because you're right. They probably actually are not going to say anything about this particular pill because it's not being, advocated by the public, by the government, right? And they're going to be perfectly fine with the contradiction, Tunde, of saying, I don't want the vaccine, but give me these pills so I can live.
No, they are saying things already. They've been saying things even before this deal for the generics came out. When mainstream media was pushing like, oh, there's this breakthrough pill from either of the companies, Merck or Pfizer. It was on Twitter, it was on Facebook that all of a sudden we're hearing about a pill being okay while ivermectin is not.
Right.
They're like, well, why is ivermectin bad? But this pill is okay. Why? And then, they jump to the fact that, and nobody's a fan of the pharmaceuticals. They definitely, take advantage and reap profits that are disproportionate and just really unacceptable.
And on the blacks, listen, they make profit on the blood and the death and the dying and the suffering of people. Let's make no mistake about it. I don't know, you're going to find more people with a better critique of the healthcare industry, because it is an absurdity to me that they have the ability to make a profit off of people who are dying of cancer. How dare we allow an industry to make profit off of people in their most dire times of their life? But at the same time, we're in a pandemic. They have a vaccine. Let's get that vaccine, folks. And if you're going to take this pill, you might as well take the vaccine. Am I right, Tunde? Like, you guys are killing me here.
Yeah. I mean, look, and I'm also into questioning everything, right? Like you can't enter everything with just, blind eyes. But at the same time, I do know my own limits. I know my own lane, right? I know how to operate video stuff. I am not a doctor. I am not a scientist. So if a majority of the doctors and scientists say, hey, this thing is good, I mean, who am I to vehemently disagree with them?
If your optometrist told you to not get the vaccine and go with herd immunity, would you listen to your optometrist?
No, mostly because I can't spell that. I don't know.
Well, Rand Paul is an optometrist, and I believe he lost his accreditation. What is it? Their licensing for to practice, and he's encouraging herd immunity versus the vaccine. That's and he is a sitting U.S. senator. That's the level of the absurdity. Folks, we're going to take a quick break. Rebecca Azor is going to join us for Like It or Not, coming back after this. There's no DJ exclusive, but the party can continue. Tunde, run us some tunes. When we come back, Like It or Not is going down. Oh, man. See, now I got to stall for another 10 seconds, which means I got to find
the big question is, will Rebecca be on time?
And will Rebecca be on time? That's the big question. We'll be back right after this.
Filibuster fail. We got the
swipe, swipe. Just picked up some bands, come again, come again. They do what I do, I'm like Simon Says. Yeah, I'm the running man, rapping rubber bands, rubber bands. They do what I do, I'm like Simon Says. They do what I do, I'm like Simon Says. Simon Says. Swerving, making plays, quick Ferrari red. Never out my zone, touchdown in my hands. Only fam around me, I can't have no friends. Had to cut you off, you left me out for dead. Ever since I was a teen, had prices on my head. Had to cut you off, you left me out for dead. They do what I do, I'm like Simon Says. Just picked up some bands, come again, come again. They do what I do, I'm like Simon Says. Yeah, I'm the running man, rapping rubber bands, rubber bands. They do what I do, I'm like Simon Says. Just picked up some bands, come again, come again. They do what I do, I'm like Simon Says. Yeah, I'm the running man.
Don't feel right. I still wanna party with her. Oh yeah. Even when it don't feel right. You know I'ma party with her, with her, with her. We been chillin' off the Wednesday, slept until it's Thursday. She don't wanna leave me, not just yet. Told me all about last Friday when she went all crazy. Didn't go to bed till Saturday. I don't wanna go without, so I asked her to stay. Though she broke my heart in a million ways, but I'm putting that aside now. I'ma feel alright now, happy just as long as she's with me. I've been trying my life every day of the week, yeah. With my baby, what's up? Always down every week, yeah. No, love her too much, but I just can't get enough. She's slipping through the cracks. Let me stay forever. The truth is hard, life's so much better. Won't you let me stay forever? Light up in the sky for treasures.
I think tonight I'm gonna make it mine. I stepped out, stepping on next. Lil baddie, cashing big checks. I bought the whole block out, now that's a big flex. Peeping out my Uber window, like what's next? Got new levels and new devils out the wazoo. Ain't no worries, life gets better when you find you. And if you mind you, peace will abide and hide you until it's time to start anew. So live it up, we grown, ain't got no curfew. Who brought the bad vibes? Tell that bitch move. Walking all in my inner, that's a bitch move. Pressed that I arrive, mad that I survive. All your sad attempts to send me to the sky. But I've been in the wind, been had wings, I was always this fly. Oh yes, and that's probably why you're mad. Don't let AV turn you into a trash bag. So get glad, find out why you sad. All that jealousy, you should subside. I think it's time to turn that mirror on you. Put it up close for a clear view. And look deep down inside. And soon you will find a pretty soul that needs more shine. My world has come together, and maybe I just want to let it shine. There is no good or better. I think tonight I'm gonna make it mine. 1, 2, mean right hook. Come and test me, my mom deep will have you shook. It's a marathon, but baby girl, never let up. No need for speed, but keep your foot up on the gas pedal. Ain't worried about having a golden award when God made me to be an ice cold medal. Why are you always pressed about my life? Talking with your frenemies about me, saying, ooh, girl, have you seen it like the shine lights? You tried, but you could never dim my light. Please know I'm untouchable, girl. I'll slip through your fingers like a real fly kite. Why you wanna turn a good day into fight night? Constantly projecting all the negativity. Take that bad energy and go and get your mind right. Say a prayer tonight to keep it so tight. You in the big world of danger, cause you dwell in that drama. I put the work in, now I got the big bags that you call Birkins. My world has come together, and maybe I just wanna let it shine.
All right, y'all. Make sure that y'all stay tuned. The after party is coming up next. Don't want to forget.
Got an appetite, let's
Y'all make sure you stay tuned. At the after party coming over YouTube. Join the after party.
Push up and butter me.
Y'all make sure y'all bring y'all asses on over there. We'll see you then.
We don't need a recipe.
With that cream, baby, pour that sweet on me, baby. We can cook up, we can syrup when we hook up, just you and me. With that cream, with that, preheat this oven up like 5,000 degrees. It's almost ready, we've been craving this all week. Baby, you want it, I got it. I'm hooked on you.
Hey, what's going on there? Barbara, thank you. I'm going to let my week.
And this ain't no time to be modest.
Poke that, push that, shake that, girl, take your last name and siphonate that. We don't need a recipe.
My cousin just texted me.
With that cream, baby, pour that sweet on me, baby, shade it. We can cook up, we can serve.
Say again, I'm
we hook up, just you and me.
Oh, okay, got you. Bear the strays, I know you like my weed. Yeah.
And that's sweet on me. We can cook up, we can stir up, when we hook up, just you and me.
Yes.
With that cream.
And I probably already know who it is.
Sweet on me.
BDX, baby, you do.
Cook up, we can stir up, when we hook up, just you and me. With that cream, with that cream.
Hollywood 220, what's going on? So, what do you call a woman with one leg longer than the other? What do you call a woman with one leg longer than the other? All right, y'all. Make sure that y'all stay tuned. The after party is coming up next. Don't want to forget.
Got an appetite, let's
y'all make sure you stay tuned. At the after party coming over YouTube. Join the after party. Y'all make sure y'all bring y'all asses on over there. We'll see you then.
With that cream, baby, pour that sweet on me, baby. We can cook up, we can stop when we hook up, just you and me. With that cream, with that, preheat this oven up like 5,000 degrees. It's almost ready, we've been craving this all week. Baby, you want it, I got it, I'm hooked on you.
Hey, what's going on there? Robert, thank you. I'll get you
And this ain't no time to be modest.
Poke that, push that, shake that, girl, take your last name, it's hyphenated.
My cousin just texted me.
With that cream, baby, pour that sweet on me, baby, shade it. We can cook up, we can serve.
Say again, I'm sorry.
We hook up, just you and me.
Oh, okay, got you.
Like It or Not with Benjamin Dixon starts now.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to Like It or Not,
where we're free to tell the truth
and not care who doesn't like it. Ben, I think I stole a portion of your part as well.
You did, but you see, I can improvise.
Yes.
I'm Johnny on the spot. It is Wednesday, November 17th, 2021. Thank you all for joining us across all the different platforms where we are streaming. Rebecca Azor is in the building. Sis.
You like to do that. It's Azor. But yes, I am in the building. A Black woman once told me, anytime they pronounce your name wrong, you correct them. So, but I know you always do that every morning and you play. So I know that's part of the thing. Thank God. Look, thank you for cutting out my background, because I thought y'all was gonna see what's happening back here. It ain't right. So
one shot if you want.
No, we're good. Bless God. No, we're good. Bless Jesus. Bless God for Jesus. I'm doing my Christmas situation. So this is the story, because it's always a story. You know, Rebecca, she got a story for us. So here we are. Yesterday night, I was like, let me put up my Christmas tree. I started playing the music, called my girlfriend up. I was like, singing the little Christmas. I had Kim's Christmas playlist playing after Mariah Carey's. I had his station playing. So, hey girl, all of that was happening. I went to go to the kitchen area and I was like, are we frozen? First of all, are we frozen on the, okay. All right. So I went to the kitchen area and I was like, oh, girl, Lettucey concert is coming up. It's crazy. Hold on. Let me see when it's really coming up. You guys, it was 6 o'clock. It was almost 6 o'clock. And I looked into my phone. Lettucey concert was in the next 2 hours. And I was like, wow. I didn't even, and then I had on home clothes, like putting up Christmas stuff, pulled the Christmas tree from the storage. And everyone, when you get from the storage, you got to be like, is the critters in there? Are there spiders? Are there all of that? I already picked out because last year my theme was rose gold. And this year I'm going vintage. I'm doing red and green, the vintage colors of Christmas. So I had to pick those out and, just put things together. So if it's all over the floor, then I'm like, dang, I gotta go. I was in the kitchen at the time. I gotta go. So I literally threw on whatever, hopped in the car.
Wait. You saying you randomly thought about a concert that you thought was coming up. You looked it up and saw that concert was coming up in 2 hours.
Yes.
You changed everything that you were doing and went to that concert.
Yes. And it's crazy because Lettucey was playing. I think a Christmas song by Lettucey was playing, and I just was thinking about it, and I was like, "What the heck?"
That was the album
on the Kim station. I think it was Kim, and probably was. So, but anyways, I get there and you guys, now they're asking for my vaccination card. And I'm like, I better have it. I better have my vaccine card because I would not drove through Atlanta into Midtown with anxiety because, around those times, the cards get crazy. Finally get there and I was like, thank you, Lord, because I wasn't going to take no for an answer. I was about to fight the man at the door. He's just like, no, the performer said she needs everyone to be vaccinated. She needs proof of vaccination. So I was like, you right. And I'm not going to fight you on that because that's why I'm going to this concert. But damn, like, what the heck? So, but I had it by the grace of God. And I went through and it was nothing but grown women. It was nothing but grown men. I said, dang, I'm part of that. I couldn't wait to be grown. And now here I am. Me thinking I'm grown. This lady looked at me.
The auntie crowd. You went to
Yes, I am part of the auntie crowd. But aunties look different in generations. Like, how grandmothers are starting to look different from the generations. Aunties now. Yeah. Look, I'm the rich aunt, right? The one that, the luxurious rich aunt. Yeah. Ain't got no money in the bank, but always looking good. Bills paid though. But yes.
Rich.
Yes. So we walking in there and they have like all the ladies, the black women have on their like diamond studded heels. They ain't been out in a minute. Diamond studded heels. The men got their 3 pieces on. And then you got the 30s men who got, because it's about that time. Trench, turtleneck, gold chain, Chelsea boots. You know how they do. So they out there too. So we all get together. I first sit by these 2 women. And I'm sitting next to them and they start talking to me. They're like, well, I love the way you speak. Well, what do you do? And I told them 2 years ago, I actually performed in the museum next door. How
did you say it?
That's me. I actually performed next door in the museum, to a sold out crew.
Ago.
And they were like,
on stage.
Yes. And now it's Lettucey. I performed in this area as well. She was like, wow. But I said, I'm actually a political journalist. And she was like, you're not like 22. I said, look, lady, I'm a grown ass woman. I don't I'm a grown ass woman. Like, I'm grown.
Wait. 22 that should have been a compliment. That's a compliment, right?
I like to listen. It's nice. I know that society made it seem like, oh, if you look younger, that's a compliment. Yeah, it's a compliment. But at the same time, I'm a grown ass woman. So I want to be treated as such, and, when I started explaining to them what I do and how, you got, sometimes you have to start saying those things. Hey, I've been in school. I graduated high school in 2007, lady. I graduated college 2011. I graduate, hey, I've earned my stripes to be here in this Lettucey concert and be treated as a grown ass woman.
Treat like an auntie. You ain't a little cousin, you're an auntie. Right.
No, I'm an auntie now. And so, if we were having conversations, but they were gassing me up though. And they were Atlanta natives and I have never met real Atlanta. Like I've met them, but it's rare to meet Atlanta natives in Atlanta. And so they were talking to me and they were talking to me about the changes. So as we're talking and we're getting it, and I got my double shot of Cavassier, I'm just like, wow. Wow. And it, very special. And I'm like, you guys are so crazy. And, music playing in the background, whoa, they got that going. It's real black in there. And so a man comes up, he's like, I think you're in my seat. And I'm like, I am not. It says 3 on here. It says 3. He says, yes, 3 left. You're on right. Oh, I'm just going to go to the other side. So I had to walk, honey, to the other side, baby. Shameful. I was like, well, nice to meet y'all. Nice to meet y'all. Look, me looking at the man, just ruining the moment. Nice to meet y'all. Get to the other side. The story's coming to an end, but I get to the other side and I sit down.
Davis.
He mad. I get to the other side and I sit down. And in me sitting down, another woman comes to sit next to me. But why this auntie who had a young husband, she looks at me and she goes, so you couldn't find nobody to come with? Nobody wanted to come with you? I could not believe I said, Heifer, was she serious? She said, so you couldn't find nobody to come with, nobody could come with you?
Oh, man.
And then, and it got crazy but then she was my friend towards the middle when the Lettucey was telling us to yell, I'm a woman. She looked at me, woman. Girl, don't look at me. Don't look at me.
Because you can't find nobody to bring.
Listen, it was good. And then the other lady on the other
she must
side
have been
of me,
closer to her. She must be closer to her 40s, auntie. Because as you get closer,
she
to
was
40s,
she was 40s plus in my business. In my business,
say anything. After
and
40,
the one on the
side, comes to mind.
And the auntie on the side of me, she was about my age, and her dude kept talking to me, so she ended up switching seats. It was a Michelle Obama type thing happening right there when they switched seats over there. They switched seats. It was like, stop talking. I'm like, okay, well, dang, and
that's why that one sister asked, you ain't had nobody you could bring with you.
Yeah, she in my business. And she was like, here she goes, single and cute out here trying to grab. I'm not trying to do that. I'm here for lettucey. And it was good though. It was a really, that concert was great. Shout out to lettucey.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm excited to hear that she required a vaccine.
Yeah.
With you.
Oh, and she was talking about that. Days. Yeah, no, she was really saying? She was talking about that. She was like, I know it's been a while and I was afraid to do this concert series because she held for over a year. This concert has been pushed back. And she's like, I was afraid to come back and do this, but I had to do, if I was going to do it, I was going to do it my way. And I didn't know if it was going to be something that you guys would be okay with. Being vaccinated, showing proof that you do your latest test, things like that. So, and being forced to wear your mask the whole concert.
Wow.
So I didn't know how y'all were going to feel about that, but she said all my shows have been sold out. So it looks like y'all needed this too. I said, come on, somebody.
That's what's up.
Come on, somebody. It was good.
Now, I'd go to a vaccinated mask required event. Like, I mean, we need more of that. I mean, people need to be able to trust that they can go somewhere and not have to worry about some of these I just get tired of going into places and everybody in there has on a mask except for like one Republican. And I know they're Republican because they're white and they in Georgia. Sorry. And they're not wearing a mask. Come on. They voted for Donald Trump. Anyway,
they're fighting people on video and asking and saying to them, hey, you must be vaccinated. The person's like, yeah. They're like, yeah, you're vaccinated. Like it's something wrong. I'm vaccinated as hell. Make me go viral. I am vaccinated. Not vaccinated. I'm vaccinated. Okay. Hey, if you got a problem with that, then, go take it up with somebody else. But I am back off of me, heifer. I am vaccinated. I am proud. I am
Wait a minute, Rebecca, wait. Is this an imaginary person you're ready to fight? Because I'm like, wait, we turned the corner kind of quick. Who we fighting now?
I seen that actually in a recent video of a woman, and she was a white woman at a Subway, and she was bullying a black woman who was the only one working from the front to the back. She was the cashier, the person making the sandwiches, and the person preparing the food, in the back, putting them in the fridges and the stock person. She was doing all that by herself. And this white woman walked up to her and told her in the middle of a panoramic that, hey, I'm mad. You over here, you need to make it quicker. She flipped the camera, put it on one of the people that were there. It was a uniformed, I think an army man. And he was sitting there waiting for his food. And she was like, aren't a white lady talking to a white man, talking about some, aren't you mad? Aren't you mad? And he's like, no, she's the only one here. She's the only one here. I am not upset. And then she was like, you must be one of those vaccinated people. And he was like, yeah, I mean, I am.
Well, speaking of that kind of shenanigans, I got two clips I want you to see, Rebecca.
Okay.
And they deal with the same exact topic. The first one is an anti-vaccine activist by the name of Sherry Tenpenny. And I believe we covered her stuff before. She's claiming that requiring non-vaccinated people to undergo COVID-19 testing is torture. And according to her, torture is illegal in the United States of America. And you repeatedly testing me for being a non-compliant and disobedient is the same as torture. Let's take a listen to this clip.
People have got to start saying to their bosses who are requiring them to get tested if they don't get a shot, that you need to start saying to them, torture is illegal in the United States of America. And you repeatedly testing me for being non-compliant and disobedient is torture. And I think that we're going to be writing that up and we're going to sending it into the EEOC and we're going to start accusing you and these policies of being torture. Call a spade a spade. And we know that this is murder by injection, right?
She's so calm. She's so calm with it, but it escalates. I don't want to leave it there. Here's a second clip. These folks are losing their minds. She's saying that vaccinating children is modern day child sacrifice. and an effort to carry out very, 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 very late term abortion, as in they're like 12 years old and you're going to vaccinate them. So she's saying that's the same as abortion. Here she goes.
This is happening in America, people. And it's your job to stop everybody you know and wake them up and shove it in their face. And if they defund you off of social media, who cares? Now it's about trying to save unborn babies and pregnant women. It's about they now are actually starting a trial to give these shots to 6-month-olds. This is child sacrifice. This is the resurgence of child sacrifice from the days of the Babylonian mystery schools. And if you see anybody participating in this, you need to be challenging them of what they are doing to their spirituality and what they are sacrificing their children to. You know, I had a really good friend who said, you know, we've sacrificed over 60 million unborn babies in abortion. We have multiple states in this country who actually allow late-term abortion. Now we are doing very, 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 very late-term abortion by killing 5-year-olds.
With the vaccine, Rebecca. Allegedly.
Allegedly. Now, this, this misinformation, it comes, usually I see it coming in the, from the
Just repeat that, Rebecca, just for YouTube. It is misinformation and we are debunking it.
Okay,
right,
yes.
Right,
yes. This is misinformation, and like it or not, this show, this network, the Benjamin Dixon Show, and every sub show underneath it, we are debunking this misinformation. So this misinformation, though, that we usually see, especially in this form, is usually coming from a white man, and I feel that seeing it in this, with the old lady talking about, like the same kind of thing, but it doesn't have that sting like that the white man does. So it's all big. Now across the board is BS. These evangelicals using their platform, black, white, they're all wrong. It's BS. We see that other woman using the African woman using her platform to do the same. It's all BS. I don't care what color the person is. But when I see it in this form, it's really like watching paint dry. Like, I'm sorry. It just really, I didn't lady, everything that you're saying, I don't even want, it's misinformation off rip, but I don't even want to hear it coming from you. Like, where's the sauce, sis? Like, what is it?
At least be entertaining.
Give us something to work with. The people behind you are not, everybody's bored. It's the woman wearing the Make America Great Again get up with the fur, I think, that she has on. I don't know. It's like on the side. I don't know if it's a fur or whatever. But she's in the back, she's in the. These are all different levels of Karens I was looking at in the audience too. I saw the lady with the nice bob, blowout bob. I saw the other lady with the little.
Go back to the audience.
She's the Instagram mom with the hat, with the aesthetics. And then you have the woman wearing the Make America Great Again hat. And I really am like, dang, these people are really. And she's right there holding her cell phone. You know how they hold their phone, it's just a fool. Her.
They have a certain way they hold their phone. What is wrong with you?
But this is what I'm looking at. They're more entertaining. I got to find the entertainment in this thing because it's a joke. It's a whole joke. Lady, what you're saying that, they're, these vaccinations, what they're doing is not what they're doing.
Get y'all grandma off the stage. Put that nana up on stage.
Get Meemaw right off.
So actually, that's what I was about to say is that, Rebecca, while we're looking at it and we see this as like boring as hell and people just look like, they just look bored out of their minds. But what we're not seeing is she reminds them of their grandmas, right? Of their of their grandmoms, so that's why it's completely digestible to them because it's coming from a familiar source to them, and what's so interesting about these type of things, man, is that it's so funny, man. People say question everything, don't believe everything, but then it's just like, well, I mean, how do you not question this? What is it about this? And obviously it's coming, coming from a familiar source, but but how do you not hear this and where's the proof? Where's the data? Where's the articles? Where's the sources for those articles? That she typed up on
she typed up on Windows 95, bro. She did this on America Online.
Still using
That's a good point. That's such a good point. They are. You're right. That is such a good point. She having Mima up there telling you, especially about children, and not to vaccinate
Rebecca,
them.
you already said that.
Those are babies.
You said that when you mentioned Stella Emanuel, right? She's the white version of Stella Emanuel. She's the grandmotherly figure that is going to launder all these lies right into somebody's basement. You know, kid in their basement going to trust Nana.
But she is more than that. She is giving that vibe. She's giving me like, you know, the raisins and the potato salad original recipe. You know, she's that woman, and they are going to listen.
She used to date Colonel Sanders.
Yeah, mothballs. You know that old lady smell, and that is also the mothball smell is actually a general smell for older. You know, generations have their smell. You got the white musk, the women that are still wearing the Elizabeth Taylor white musk perfume. Because I wear Elizabeth Taylor, but I wear a different version. But I know that white diamonds. That's what it is.
White diamond. That's what it is.
You got those. You know those women, but it's okay. It's okay, but you're right. I love that you made that point, though, Tunde. It really is the fact that they listen to her and they bring her out to be the representation because it is more digestible for them. It reminds them of grandma telling them, you know, our older, our parents and our grandparents, they'll give us a little bit of information. They'll say, hey, I don't think you should do that. And here's why. And because it came from the older person, we automatically attach that to them being wise. But sometimes they be wrong. Sometimes they be wrong.
Hey, bro, can Tunde and David, could y'all do me a quick favor? One of you, can you grab a still image of The Walking Dead, Herschel Walker, and Rick Grimes? Because this is what Maymal reminds me of here, right? She is... This entire faction of Republicans, they're playing on those sincere people who genuinely don't believe this pandemic is real. They really think that it's honestly a scam. And if Nana says that it's fake, then they gonna believe what Nana says because they just have that kind of that matriarchal trust of a Nana type figure. And it's the same type of madness that we saw in Walking Dead. Like, how do you sit there and put your lives and I hate to make such a callous kind of comparison, but it's that kind of derangement, like that old motherly, fatherly figure. Just because you trust them don't mean they're right. They could be dead wrong.
Yeah. Somebody said it's mothballs, icy hot, and Bengay cream, and I'm just dead. Now for Haitians, it's gonna be l'huile masquiti, castor oil. I don't know what it is, but they just like be up under castor oil all day on the. You got gas. They say rub castor oil. How you rubbing castor? Where the gas? How you rubbing the gas?
That's the ginger ale. That's the ginger ale.
What the heck?
But you broke your leg. Drink some ginger ale.
You got to cut castor oil. You got diarrhea castor oil. You got some castor oil.
This is not the image I wanted, but this is what that lady is. This is what she's doing. She playing the Herschel Walker role, and she gonna bring in all of these crazy conspiracy. Go back to the lady. She is going to bring in all of the craziest conspiracy theories, nice and comfortably to her. Listen, she honestly might be the most dangerous person out of all of them on stage.
Yeah.
Well, just keep in mind, while she looks like grandma, while she looks like she's in the kitchen cooking, or like she's, just homey and reminding and connecting with everyone, she's actually fundraising. Like she I forget the guy who she's a business partner of, but they're fundraising.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's the crew. Remember the crew that wanted to raise $100 million to fight back against Black Lives Matter?
Corporations for Black Lives Matter.
We put them on. We covered that story on here. Remember when we were saying reawaken America? People, they sleep. The people behind you sleep. You're boring, but at the same time, they will use this as the grounds to push forth this message, bring forth Mima, put up Billy Ray Jesus, put up who else? Anybody that they can. Nicki Minaj said something about the vaccine. They're gonna tap her shoulder. They're gonna tap anybody, and they're gonna push them into this reawaken America. But what are we reawakening them to? Are we going death? If death, and that's it. So there ain't nobody waking up because everybody dead. Everybody did.
that's I gotta move on because we about to get even worse with this thing right here. All right, so Rebecca, when you were talking about concerts earlier, it was but you said Lettucey, so I was like, okay, it was a nice, cool, everybody was calm at that concert.
Beautiful.
It reminded me of the Astroworld incident, and the young 9-year-old little boy who died. But also, there's so much that's happening around that. There's another story, and you might know more about this than me, but Little Uzi had a concert, and someone passed out at the concert. And we have a clip of it. We're going to play it. Instead of stopping the concert, he insisted on going on, and he makes his explanation in this clip. Let's take a look at that clip real quick.
I don't take no breaks. If it's getting bad, leave. If you ain't gonna leave, stay.
So a lot of people responding. He refused to stop his show for someone who passed out. And this is after the Astroworld event. And this is after, I don't know to what extent he's got to know what's going on. I mean, they got to have talked to him about it. So, but there you got it.
What did I just watch? First of all, Ben, comparing the Lettucey concert to the Little Uzi, it was terrible. Secondly, we was safe over there.
That's all I was saying. I was saying y'all was safe. Y'all safe because ain't nobody storming the stage. Y'all not doing mosh pits at the Lettucey.
Yeah, we was two-stepping and we was using the seat to just sway our hips in our seats. We had balcony levels that nobody was trying to dive down and do that. We were in the Atlanta Symphony Hall, something with how they say Haitians, prestige. Bagay qui senti bon. Et pas bagay mosh pit qui sa. But as I'm watching this though, it is sad because this culture of moshing or being very aggressive, it's been a thing, right? But it's funny that now we're seeing how they're just very dismissive now. I've seen these. I had friends growing up who were part of the mosh pit crew, and they had a great time. Everybody knew. I hear there are rules to it, so don't come moshing and don't come whatever if there's no rules to it. But the fact that these people are leading these type of things and saying to these people, instead of saying, "Hey guys, if you see someone laying out, if you see someone sick, please make room. Tap on the the quickest emergency that you can get. Wave me down. We'll stop until we can get some assistance." Because the way things are going now, these artists need to know better. And you're teaching your audience how to be. You just told them, die where you are. Die for me where you are.
Yeah.
Die for me where you are. And this is where I say the culture of it is getting really, really crazy. But to see Lil Uzi, be a part of this is a problem for me. I ain't even know. I don't really know what he rap. I don't know what he sings. I don't know. All I know is he dates one half of the City Girls. And I really don't look at it. It's giving. What is the pants? What is it doing? I'm being an auntie right now.
You gotta run that back. He dates one of the City Girls.
He dates one half of the City Girls, Jatavia.
That's as alarming as Tory Lanez dating.
You mean Tony Braxton and Birdman?
No, well, that one too. My God, you hurt me today. No, Megan Thee Stallion and the little
and Tory Lanez when they were briefly dating, but we didn't even know they were dating until I feel like he shot her.
Until he shot her in the pinky toe. How you shoot Megan Thee Stallion in the pinky toe? There's a lot of troubling things that you said in the last 30 seconds.
I'm sorry, but anyways, Little Uzi Vert is a problem. This we have
by the way, we have a guest. I'm sure has a problem with it too. Go ahead.
Okay, yeah, we can bring this guest on. Pascal, are you there?
Yeah, I think he's here. Somebody who knows a little bit more about culture than myself, because
a third box,
brother Pascal, another bald man. I don't feel quite right without having at least two bald men on the screen at any given point in time. Brother Pascal from the Pascal Show, how you doing, man?
Man, I'm chilling. How you doing?
Man, I'm doing good. It's been a long time. I know we've been out of pocket. We've been off and having shows and been taking breaks, but we're glad to have you here, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Hello, Rebecca. How you doing, sweetheart?
I was gonna say, excuse me. There's a lady in the room. We speak to the woman first. Speak to the woman. I'm a woman. That's what Lettucey said yesterday. I'm a woman. She said that yesterday.
Take the rest of the day off. So, go ahead, guys. Have a good time. Very good.
Bye, baby. Bye. What? Okay, so you guys are talking about this little Uzi thing, right? Is that
we're talking about this? We're talking about this little Uzi thing with him being on stage and basically dismissing the fact that somebody passed out at his concert. And we know with the latest with the Astroworld tour and what happened with that, people dying, people hospitalized, people brain dead. It's crazy. My best friend actually just texted me one of his lyrics. She said, "Push me to the edge. All my friends are dead," is one of his lyrics. And that just lets us know all we need to know. Pascal?
Oh, no, my man needs some mental health counseling. Oh, go ahead, Pascal.
All my friends are dead. Okay, so here it is. Because I'm actually going to be covering a piece of this on my show today too. And I just saw that you guys were talking about it. I'm like, oh, this is perfect, great. So here's the thing. Obviously, there's this whole thing about raging, right? And I'm not saying Cajun, not Cajun chicken, raging. For some weird
Raging Cajun, not Raging Cajun.
Not Raging Cajun either. So it seems like there's this thing, right, where they all want to go out there and quote unquote rage, right? And I mean, not throwing any shade towards Lil Uzi or anything, but now that the climate with concert going is so sensitive, is so palpable right now. You have a certain amount of responsibility when you get on that stage now, more than ever.
Right. That's right.
We should be, when you're on there and you're a performer and you're doing your thing and people are passing out and the audience is letting you know that they are passing out, please do what you can to tell people to take a few steps back or anything of that sort. But what's really interesting about this one is that he stops the show and he basically says, if y'all want to leave, y'all want to leave. If y'all want to stay, y'all want to stay. We rage in here. And then they turned off the music. He got shut off.
Okay. So that's good to know that he got shut off.
So he was on stage. He's doing his thing. Some people are, a woman is passing out in the front row. Mm-hmm. He's on the mic and he's like, well, we raging here, right? He says like, we're out here raging. Right. Mm-hmm. He says something along the lines of like, if y'all want to stay, if you could stay, if you want to leave, y'all leave if you want to leave kind of thing. Mm-hmm. He goes back on the mic trying to do his thing. The concert or like the actual facility shuts him down completely. So he can't even talk on the microphone. He gets so angry, he throws that mic out into the audience. Real talk. Mm-hmm. Now, I personally think that the concert promoters did the right thing. Personally, this is what they should have done at Astroworld, and yet they did.
Yeah, I mean, I like that, but I think the fact that they did that in this particular, good, my background isn't looking too crazy, but the fact that they did that in this particular moment was because as a result of what happened with Astroworld. Like I said, these things have probably been happening at these concerts. If we look at the history of Astroworld and what's the guy's name that does Astroworld? What is it?
Travis Scott.
Thank you, Travis Scott. Because I don't know these kids, but Travis Scott, the history of him and older videos of him coming out, he's literally saying the same thing that Lil Uzi was saying multiple times at different concerts, even saying, gay slurs and things like that.
Astroworld wasn't the first time.
Exactly. Astroworld was not the first time. So I think as a result of what happened with Astroworld, it's kind of like what happened with Starbucks. Remember when they were like, that incident with feeling, I guess there was racism happening, they were kicking people out of Starbucks for being Black kind of thing. And all of a sudden we got diversity and inclusion. We got that kind of stuff. So that's what's happening here. We're going to see that in these not raging Cajun, but these mosh type environments, these rage environments. We're going to start to see that now. They're going to start to tap in on that. Meanwhile, this is not the first time it's happened. But people are afraid now. I don't want to get sued. I don't want to get this. I don't want to get that. And they will not at a concert associated with Live Nation, with Ticketmaster, with whoever, they will not have our name attached to people dying no more. We are not going to get multiple lawsuits. We don't want no parts of that. And we do not want to be seen as if we don't care about people because of what this man just said. We don't want to attach ourselves to that. But like I said, it's been happening.
On that note, we actually do have a second clip for this story that ties in. So I'll go ahead and run it.
Perfect.
9-year-old Ezra Blount, who had been on life support after getting trampled at Travis Scott's Astroworld Festival, has died. His family confirmed the news on Sunday to ABC 13 Houston. In a statement obtained by People, the Blount family attorney Ben Crump said that the family is, quote, grieving the incomprehensible loss of their precious young son. He went on to say that Ezra's death should not have been the outcome of going to a concert, which is supposed to be a joyful occasion. He called the young boy's death heartbreaking, adding that he is committed to seeking answers and justice for the Blount family. Houston Mayor Sylvester Turner shared his condolences to Ezra's family, tweeting a statement saying that he was saddened to learn he had passed away. Ezra's death now brings the death toll from the tragic Astroworld Festival to 10. On Thursday, musician SZA addressed the music festival tragedy while performing at her concert in Utah. In a video shared on TikTok and liked by over 160,000 users, SZA stops her show when she realizes an audience member has passed out. She then goes on to say that no one should ever die while attending a concert.
Some might think, hey, people pass out all the time, blah, blah, blah. But people don't die at concerts all the time. And that's something that, like, none of us should ever, like, we'll never forget that.
SZA also made sure that the passed out audience member received water. She then said that we could all learn from the Astroworld tragedy, saying that some events change and shape how you do things going forward, and that change is a good thing.
That makes me really, I mean, I get it, SZA. Thank you for your services. But that really makes me sad that the baby boy died. And I was rooting for him to make it. Imagine being a father, you know, and I know that you are, Ben. I don't know if you are, Pascal, but imagine being a parent and taking your child, you know, there because they like old boy, they like Travis, you know, they like the culture of it. They want to go and see him live, and that could be his first concert. And you father-son time. You get there to the concert, all this is happening, and now you're blaming yourself. You're blaming yourself. You know, that killed me inside. Because now he's gone because of this reckless behavior. And this is what I'm saying. In his previous concerts, if you look at these videos, they're circulating, they're viral. He's saying stuff like, if you can't, the same thing Lil Uzi was saying, if y'all can't survive the mosh, and if y'all can't survive it, then, you know, you ain't supposed to be here. Y'all, you know, like telling them people they're supposed to be able to survive this type of activity. If you can't breathe, you're too weak in these types of environments. And that's very dangerous. But these are previous concerts. Now, those diehard fans are coming back with that in their mind. Like, I ain't weak. So they're coming there like on drugs and this and that and willing to be a part of this overpacked. Like, this place is over capacity, and just they're willing to be in this number and to run over people for whatever reason, because that's a part of the culture that Travis Scott created. And that's so sad that we lost Ezra because of it.
Yeah. No, I mean, there's nothing you can even say to that family. There's nothing other than to say that, we extend as much love as we possibly can to you. And, you know, that's all I can say. Because you're right, Rebecca, I can't even imagine. I can't imagine how I would respond, but I'm sure that they're responding with as much grace as they possibly can in an absurdity. It's absurd. It is. Anyway, the point is this. I have a question for the two of you. Is their music that good? Is Travis Scott's music, is Lil Uzi's music that good?
All I know is that one song that push me to the edge. All my friends I know that one. The Travis Scott song. I know if somebody tells me, I'd probably be able to be like, I don't know.
Pascal?
I mean,
I'm an
I only know that song that Rebecca just quoted.
Pascal doesn't want to upset people.
Travis Scott. I know a bunch of songs. I used to play a lot of his music when I'm working out. He's part of my workout song list type thing. But now when I hear it, I can't really listen to it because now I'm just thinking of all the 10 victims. Right? There's also Bardi Shahani that died a few days prior to Ezra Blunt dying, and if you just watch the family's reaction, actually just the mother's reaction when they did their press briefing, it is just the most heart-wrenching, most heartbreaking thing anyone could ever sit through. It just makes you, it's so visceral, right? That there's no way that you could just not stop playing their music. I mean, playing his music, because it just makes you think of these kids. It makes you think of all these victims that have died. And when I heard about the Ezra thing, man, what's crazy is I was at my niece and nephew's birthday. I got twins, niece and nephew, and we were celebrating their 5th birthday. And as I hear about this information, I mean, I'm looking at these little kids. I'm looking at my other nieces and nephews, and I'm sitting there going like, wow, imagine me. I'm not a dad, but I definitely can feel this. It definitely hits. Doesn't matter, right? And
it's the holidays.
Going to an event like that and walking out without your loved one. It's Jesus to think about.
Yeah, and in this particular moment, like, I think it is the responsibility of the artist. And this is, I know that somebody in the comment section said this is not the time. Like, don't police lyrics. No, I'm not policing lyrics. I get in my car every day after my morning sermon or my morning walks or my morning runs, or after listening to TD Jakes' situation or Sarah Jakes, and I get in my car and I turn on T Grizzly. And I talk about going into people's homes and shooting them. But I'm not doing that. I'm really laying somebody's body dead, gun to the head. I am that person. I put that on extra blast as I'm riding through my very white apartment complex.
There are some things that you don't want to be clipped out, Rebecca. I feel like that might be one of the things that you don't want to give the people that to clip out, because
they're gonna soundbite that way. No, give it to them real good. What's the lyric again, Rebecca? No context,
Rebecca. They can clip out a lot of things I say. No matter what I say or do, they're able to clip a little piece of it and say that's what I said. But now, I me listening to that type of music, but that does not mean that, I don't want that. I'm not out here doing those kind of things, right? I don't want lyric policing, because we have all types of music that say all types of things, as long as it's not like rape and all that stuff, whatever. I won't listen to it. But we have all types of music that say all types of things. I don't want lyric policing, but I need these artists to be responsible, right? Yeah. The music is a form of art, but you guys are coming here and telling people you should die for my art. Yeah. You should die for my art. And that's why I'm like, hold up. First of all, your outfit is whack. Okay. 2 feet tall.
Your hair is whack.
You look dusty. Okay.
Your tattoos are whack.
I am not dealing with that with you. I'm not dying for you. I have a life. Pascal. And who are you? Who are you for me to die for? Your music's all right. Like, it is what it is, Pascal.
I ain't dying for nobody's music, Pascal. I know you ain't dying for nobody's music. I know you're covering this, and I know you got to get out of here, man. Tell everybody how.
Dang, Pascal, wait, I was really trying to get you in on this conversation about the baby.
But he's got it.
And Dana.
Baby. Oh, wait.
And I ain't talking about the baby. I ain't talking about the baby.
I got like 2 minutes. Just, you can jump into it real quick. I got 2 minutes.
Okay, all right, let's do it.
Because I got things to say. I got things to say. Go ahead.
Okay.
So yesterday we played the wrong clip. I'm hoping, Josh and I are hoping that we have the right one today.
How do you have the wrong clip? It's so
right. Look, all I say, there were like 50,000 of them. So all of them apply. I don't even know what clip you played yesterday, but all of those clips apply. Whatever clip you have, let's roll it real quick.
I'm not trying to be Listen.
You're not. You're not. He's a great father.
Okay.
And you know that, Danny.
Okay.
He's a great father, right?
Okay.
He's a great father.
Okay.
No, he's a great father, right?
Sure.
She's a crazy.
Pregnant.
You wasn't my girl.
I wasn't your girl.
Danielle.
I wasn't your girl.
You ain't never been my girl.
His brother is right there.
My
Didn't
brother.
he call me his girl all the time?
I had that fold out, man.
That's funny.
This is some trapper black shit playing gone wrong.
Yeah.
That's what this is. Yeah, this is trying to trap a going wrong. I'm not going.
Are you crazy? You just came at me last night, you idiot.
Shout out, you beg me. You be begging me.
Last night, you idiot.
It's some jail. Hey, somebody tell Maury to call baby, man. Let me run up a quick 10M.
Yeah, okay. Don't ever
Let me run up a quick
like
10M. Somebody tell Maury to get on Maury. Shorty is more material. Get up out my crib. Come on, get off my table.
No, get outside.
They don't come out here.
Oh my God.
Get up off my table, shorty.
Oh my God, no.
Get off my table.
I'm stuck. Hey, help.
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 You're such a fucking dick.
Help. Hey.
That was my second time seeing that video, and I still get bad anxiety about it. But Pascal, you're leaving, so please tell me how you feel. Here it is. Don't make permanent choices with temporary people. This
Come on,
clearly
Shapa.
I'm sorry. This is the truth. You know for a fact who you're lying in bed with. So if you know that, you should not be surprised about the end result. No offense.
Come on, somebody.
I'm just saying with Danny Lay, and also here it is, she should have just left. Like, she shouldn't have stayed on that feed because it just made her look worse. You got to realize that this guy was going in he went to the very extreme extent to make it abundantly clear that they were not together anymore. He wanted to annihilate, he destroyed that relationship in that one stream.
Yeah.
They're both totally in the wrong. And I feel so bad. I'm praying for the child. Real talk. Because those are the parents. Those are the parents, y'all. You know,
it's so crazy.
Parent. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. The toxicity it showed in that baby's face that wasn't supposed to be shown at all, but it showed the uncomfortableness in that baby's face. And this is going to be on the internet forever for this baby to witness forever.
I got some words to say about this sister right here.
Yeah.
Right there with the glasses.
Oh, that's a paycheck. That's a paycheck.
She's but I got it needed to be said for legal reasons because they kept, and she didn't even know because she's lost in the moment. Dan Lee is lost in the moment. She didn't even understand that if it's recorded that she is saying that he is a great father, then he has that as proof. She said I was a great father. So that's why that was being forced on her in that moment. But Dan Lee doesn't even know because he's belittling her. She has been pushed to the edge. And I hear what you're saying. You know, don't make Dan, you got to go. But listen, don't make, what is it? What'd you say? Temporary? No, but what was it?
Permanent choices with temporary people.
Now, in the moment when you can meet a little beady head, black, white, purple, yellow, whatever, man, woman, or whatever, you could meet that person and they are a great actor. And you have already opened yourself up, right? Opened yourself up to somebody who showed you that they had the intentions. Working on a relationship is not a bad thing, right? Because that's what people do. Grown people work on their relationships, their issues together. After working on something, the person comes back and tells you, hey, I want to do this to be with you, whatever the case may be. Sometimes you already love them enough to put that trust in them. And you don't even know that you're being a fool in that moment because this person is showing you that they are ready to go, Then that turn of a corner, you're not ready for that turn. You're not ready for that turn of events. You didn't know that this turn of events was coming, right? And boom, that's where she was. But she was already in the moment where she was so in love. She has this baby. She thinks that this is the way to go, especially being so young as a first-time mom, thinking that letting everything go because he promised her this is the way to go, because she was already in her mind thinking, he loves me. Sometimes you get so emotionally messed up with an emotional, immature person that you and that person, it ain't gonna work because you're looking for this person to change and be that person that he was when you first met. But she has to go through and do the work. She isn't there yet, but she has to go through and do the work where she realizes this person is never going to change. Yes, this is my baby's father. This is the baby's father, but this is not going to work. She has to go through that. And I don't know if this is the time. And I know everybody was saying she should have left. when you're in those moments and it's very toxic and you're with a narcissistic person who has already made those, who has already got you in some kind of way mentally, right? I'm not saying it's all his fault. I'm not saying it's all her fault, but a narcissist knows what to play on. And he's probably done this before where she stayed, but so that's all she's used to doing. It's all she knows. So she just thought, damn, this is something that blew up. This is something that happened to us before, but now the whole world sees it, but she's so used to staying. And he did not change what he was doing. He just went even harder. He went even harder. Why? Because the world was watching. And this is where I have the issue with a lot of these men. Now, there's so much.
Rebecca, hold it there, just because I want to give Pascal one more opportunity.
It's all good.
To escape. Okay, all right.
Hey, Rebecca, I'm with you all day on this whole situation because this is just toxic as hell. The toxicity in this one is so bad. I don't even know what to do with myself with this particular video. But
we felt bad for Dana Lee. We felt bad for her.
Why? I'm curious. I am curious. Why? What culpability does she have in this clip from y'all perspective? What did she do wrong in this clip?
To me, it's not that.
Stay. Had the baby with him. Had the baby with the baby. You know what I mean?
So yes, yeah.
Okay. Because I didn't know maybe there was some backstory that I didn't see.
No, well, because he actually was charged with assault. As well. What? He called the police on her. Yes, he called the police on her, and yes, he did. And that sucks. Do we believe in postpartum? Because if we believe in postpartum, we have to see that in this moment as well. A narcissist with a woman who Rebecca, just had a baby.
Can I just offer something just momentarily because you're. I'm not saying this to insult you. I'm saying this because you go through due diligence to be fair. Okay, you're giving baby too much credit here in terms of, you're not. It's not this difficult. Little baby's a bitch for this. I'm sorry.
Not little baby. Let's be clear. It's the baby. Little baby's the baby.
The baby. Ooh baby. Sue baby. Do baby. Wop up.
No, I 100% agree. He is a bitch. What I'm saying is
this. But I just want to just give you this and then run with it. It's that sister. Two things. Dana Lee. Child support. That's all I'm going to say. You get the last laugh, child support courts. Don't get no more charges because that's going to mess you up in your case.
Yeah.
And then the second thing is the baby. You're not going to be famous forever, my man. Your music ain't that good. It's good. Fact. I enjoy it. But there's going to be a time when we're going to be like the baby who, and the people that you stepped on while you're at the top are going to be the people. You're making yourself Dana Lee's footstool. You made yourself her enemy. Now God's got to make you her footstool.
Yeah. And so, go ahead, Pascal, because you're about to leave. Say your piece. Because I'm going to go in.
He's been trying to, I feel like he's been trying to self-sabotage himself for the longest, for a while now, since the Rolling Loud incident and on. This does not make him look any better. This just makes him look like an F-boy even more now. But the thing is, that's what I'm trying to say. She been known that this guy was an F-boy. Even when she got into bed with him. Here's the thing. She got pregnant. He left her. Then she took him back. So she already knew what bed she was about to lie in. So this should not be a huge surprise. Now I get it when you're growing a child, when you got that baby in the oven and there's a bacon and all that stuff, and you're sitting there with that person. With the baby, for example, he's sitting there going, I'm going to give you the best, such and such that you ever need. I got you back, all that kind of stuff. Sure.
Have a baby by me, baby. Be a millionaire.
Of course, you're going to sit there and think that that you guys are partners in, raising this child. But that's only it. That's it. Partners in raising that child. Now she's got this harsh reality that's been thrown in her face. And he did some petty ass ish. Real talk with
some real petty stuff.
But he was desperate. He was desperate to try to get her the hell out of that house. Could it be just because he just wanted his own freedom? Could it be a new chick? We don't know. But all I know is that he he went above and beyond for no reason. He went too far.
That's a horrible position, Rebecca. I know what you're talking about. All right, Pascal. Hey, man, everybody tune in to the Pascal Show. He's going over there. Thanks so much for joining us, brother.
No problem, man.
Bye, Pascal. See you.
Stay blessed, y'all.
See you later. Bye.
See, I knew once we broached that subject, we were going. I was like, Pascal, you got to be kidding me, man. You're not going to get this in before 10 o'clock.
Yeah. So, no, to be clear and to be fair and to be honest, listen, I need you guys to understand narcissism is a really evil thing. And I'm not for somebody, she left him. He left her. So she left. She went and got her own thing. There was a lot of positive things going on in her life, even while she was pregnant. But a narcissist, a true narcissist who's already in has their nails into someone. He saw her being great and asked her to come back. And she said she kept it. When you're dating someone and you are afraid to put that information out there, it's in the wrong, but you want to see if it's going to work yourself. She never put out until he put out just yesterday. I mean, we all knew. I saw the signs that they were still dating, but I'm saying, guys, we have to look at the bigger picture here. This is a woman who just had a baby. I get that she made those decisions that she made. This is also somebody that we were upset with when she made Yellowbone, saying that the dark-skinned women that he was with, his dark-skinned baby mothers, are not what he wanted, and the Yellowbone is what he's wanted. Let's talk about that point of narcissism. He gassed her up to do that song and say it's okay. Now
left her ass up there looking crazy.
Exactly. So many times he had left her. And yes, she should have left. How many times? And I could look at a woman and a man in this particular situation. How many times have we all have a story of that one somebody that we went back to 1,017,000 times until we were like, hell no, I can't do this no more. This is not going to work for me. So she hasn't gotten to that. This is not going to work for me place. So it's easy for people to say, why did you stay? Why did you do that? Why did you do that? And I hear Pascal's point. I know that point, but I also, when she sat there on her live and made that prayer and said, God, I love this man, but God, please don't let me come back. When you got to make a prayer like that, you know, it's a stuck point that you are at on top of being postpartum. On top of that.
So no doubt. If I can cut in there super quick.
You can.
So obviously, like, this is a charged topic because I think a lot of people can identify with almost like every side of this particular situation. But I think the thing that that jumps, because I have no idea about any of this. I'm literally I obviously listen to a few of the baby songs, but I don't know about his situation. I don't know what's going on with him. Like I obviously heard about the whole thing at the concert. So I'm coming to this like fresh, like literally watching this clip right now was my first time seeing it. But what I see is something that I'm trying to pay attention to more, which is narratives, right? That people are trying to craft their own narratives. And I feel like that's, and the baby might obviously be like a narcissist or what have you. But as he was taping that, I felt like he was trying to craft his own narrative, right? He was trying to, hey, this is what's going on right now. Now, the whole thing could have been taken out of context, and there could have been a lot of things that clearly happened before and happened after, to paint it in a different light. But I feel like when you're trying to craft your own narrative, this is what happens, right? When two people are trying to, especially if they're in the public eye, this is what the case is going to lay out to be when they're not seeing eye to eye. You see two people who everybody's going to choose their side. Oh, we're on the baby side, or we're on her side. But in reality, it's their situation. There's probably so many things that we don't know, that we have no idea about, but we're going to make our own judgments about it because we're that's what we do as the public.
We can relate to some part of it.
But I can tell you this though. I can tell you this much: there's no matter what I'm going through, no matter how complicated my backstory is, am I going to do that to my baby mama? Just not. I don't mean I got to be with you. Don't mean I got to date with you. But I'm not going to put you on blast. I'm not going to embarrass you. Like, I might break up I might do you dirty. I'm not a good person, but I am not going to put you on Beyonce's internet and laugh at your sorrow. That's next level gaslighting, and that's some dangerous. You know what? She might need to look at this as, this is your escape route. Get the hell out of there. Just run.
Yeah. He's very disrespectful. And this is a toxic situation we can see on both sides. She's very, and she is a very young woman who thought that she was in love. And many times, like I said, there are stories told and untold. When I see this, we can all relate, like you said, from each and every side of it. There are baby fathers who can relate and may watch this and maybe a clip of this. There's so many clips to this one thing. But there's baby fathers who can, or fathers who can watch this and say, I've been through this, because I've watched in my own circle of friends and family where the mother's child has been somebody who's been a narcissist, somebody who's been nasty, somebody who's been that. And, the fathers have had to record so that they are not put in situations where they're going to jail or those kind of things. And I've also seen so many times in relationships where, one party can be very controlling, very a narcissist, and where it's hard for someone to leave when the person has presented themselves as one thing and then has healed, has showed that they've healed and they were able to work through it, and then flip the cards on them in the middle of nowhere. And to be put on the social media, and that's one thing I don't like about our generation today, to be put on social media in a way where these issues are they're projecting these issues on everybody. And they're creating these narratives to save themselves. Right after the video was taken, in less than 10 minutes, there was a post put up, a statement put up about the situation from the baby himself. So it's almost, you can say this is something that could have been planned, because he did want her out for whatever reason. But all I say is, all in all, in relationships, I hope that we learn to see the signs early on so that we aren't in a stuck place mentally, so that we can, we have some level of emotional maturity. But it is hard. Once you are already in it, it is hard to just say, I am leaving. It is difficult.
Well, I do want to offer this as a piece of advice because this type of behavior, I've seen this type of behavior in relationships, but I've also seen this type of behavior in corporate America. And I've also seen this type of behavior in activist spaces. There are gaslighters of the highest order out there who behave this exact same way that you saw the baby acting, in the sense of controlling that narrative. Babatunde, if you pull up, do you have that image of the statement that he put out afterwards? Because based on this statement, you would think that, you would not believe your own lying eyes. We watched the video. We saw how he antagonized the situation, and whatever culpability the sister had in it, whatever the case, we know that this, what we're seeing on the screen, is a little small for me. Let me see if I can make it bigger so I can read. This narrative here, Rebecca, let me read it. He said, this is the baby, and this is his statement. I would like to swiftly remove myself from any of the hostile behavior put on display moments ago. This here thing has gone far enough for Shawty to crash out on her own, and it saddens me because I still got a queen to raise. The last hour has been documented for my safety and business done based on my reputation, with multiple threats of setting up a internet scheme and a person refusing to not let me go. Me and somebody else here knew to record her. I done been beat on and yelled at and chased around like one of them fatal love attraction type of girls, but I knew to keep it together. And he goes on and on and on. I don't know, because I haven't been there. Maybe what he's saying is true, but that clip that we saw, I don't know. I don't get that vibe.
No, it could have been true. It could be true. We don't know. Like I said, we're not there. Like Tune just said, it's the narrative that one creates, and that's what he created. She has never said anything about this man who, if he was her child's father, anything. She kept that under wraps because it's an embarrassment. You be dating somebody and they're an embarrassment when you don't want to show them. Okay, when you don't want family and friends to really know, when you've possibly been disowned by your own because of what they saw you go through, and you can't really see that, and you're trying to give the person another chance, it happens. But he's the one that put that all on blast in one night, put it all, showed the baby's face, which she did not show at all, her daughter's face. He ended up showing the child's face, having this, being the leader of this conversation. Now, all those things may have happened, but the things that I see here is somebody who is going through postpartum. She just had this baby. He moved her in himself. And so she posted up all the receipts herself of them being.
I'm sorry. He moved her into the house, and he just told her to get out of.
He moved her in. Yes, he moved her in. She left her own home. He moved her in, and all these things are happening now. She showed all the receipts of them being in the relationship this whole entire time. She did. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. Because like I said, it's social media. I just hate to see it unfolding in this manner. There are so many of us who can relate to this. All of us, like I said, men and women. And the narcissist could be a man or a woman. Let's not get it twisted.
That's right.
The crazy can be a man or a woman. The mentally unhealthy could be a man or a woman. Both of them are toxic. Both of them are in this whole situation. Even in that statement
How old are
that you,
they, by the way? How old?
In their 20, I think she's like 25 or something like that. But even in this particular situation, Ben, in that statement that you read, he was promoting his tour. So if you want to talk about narratives, you can talk about that. Secondly, she said she put up a picture of why he kicked her out, and it was because she purchased a plan B. She got a plan B to the house. She knows getting pregnant by him again is going to be a crazy situation because this man is sick. And she knows that, she needs to get to a mental healthy place where she can leave. And so she's like, you are having sex with me unprotected and you're telling me about a Maury situation. You're calling me just a woman that is a side chick. Or those kind of things. And that is not true. Yeah. That is not true. Especially
that was scientifically, that's a scientifically targeted statement to trigger her. He said that exact phrase to get her out of character, to make her look crazy. She said
that he was upset because she brought the plan B over. Now, and that's what kills me. If that is true, that's what kills me. Women, and this is why I say, it does suck because a lot of women who want to have their kids, but know that they're having kids with a crazy person, do resort to getting an abortion. Because hell no, that's my experience. It's my story. No, I already know. But there are some women who won't and who won't because that's their belief. They will not have an abortion, and that's okay too. But now they're stuck with these kind of men. But that doesn't make you just leave the situation. And when you are at a place where you can leave it, because you will still be able to raise your child and be a great mother.
It's hard. It's hard when you are young and you're getting money for the first time in your life and you're famous. And you got the baby who got all these hits out here, and he thorough. Like, I'm thinking about every other word that I'm saying. Like, is this dude gonna pull up on me like he pulled up on that dude, Neiman Marcus? You saw the video of the baby laying that boy out in Neiman Marcus. So you got this bigger than life character who obviously Danny Leahy or whatever, Leah, whatever, is going to be attracted to. And I guess what I'm trying to figure out is, at the end of the day, is it all worth it to do it all over again? Because it's going to be the next baby. There's going to be the next situation. There's going to be the next young sister who's in that same scenario. It might be the young brother who's in a scenario with somebody who's gaslighting you the way the baby was just gaslighting Danny. You never know. Yeah, I mean, I think so. I can kind of relate to this. So not obviously this crazy.
You a baby daddy?
No, not I. But the whole idea of being in kind of a toxic relationship. Yeah. I should start playing some Shaggy. No, but being in this sort of toxic relationship. But one thing that I feel like is a little overlooked is that age. So you said Danny was like 25 or something like that. Yeah. And the baby's like, he's, I think, close to 30, right?
He's 30. He's 30.
He's 30. Yeah. So when you have that sort of age difference, like I remember, the person I was dating, she was older. And I just remember that playing such a factor in terms of like, I was coming into it with these sort of rose colored lenses, but not seeing all the manipulating things that she was doing along the way. And I think that you just need to, seeing her on that video, I see somebody who, and I think when other people look at it, they look at it like, just leave, because honestly, you just need to create distance so you can gain some perspective yourself. Like, no matter what's going on, just leave so that you can clear your mind, so you can start seeing things clearly, because there's a good chance years after this, she'd be like, what the hell was I thinking? Like, what was going on?
She will go through that. She'll go through that. And you're right. Just leaving isn't always an option, though. He pulled her in when away from her family. So she had nobody there. So she was getting her assistant to get all that stuff together. But I also think something in her thought, he needs to apologize to me because that's what she's used to. Like I said, she's not in a mentally healthy place. She's a brand new mom as well. Imagine going through that, being dragged, not wanting to having the fears of getting pregnant by this man again, then being dragged because you are using contraceptives in your way so that you won't get pregnant again. And he gets upset about that and blasts you all over social media about that. Just leaving isn't always it when you're not in a mentally healthy place, but she will come to a place where just leaving is it. I think that was recently. Hopefully this is where it sticks, because we even saw with the Chris Brown and Rihanna situation when she when it was in the physical altercation with him, she didn't just leave. She came back, and we were all looking like, how can she be with him? She wasn't in a mentally stable place. But I think after being with him in that brief moment, she left. She left the situation because she knew this ain't it for me. We all have that moment. And I don't think Dana Lay has reached hers yet. Hopefully this is the pinnacle because she's been back and back and back a few times. Hopefully this is it. But I pray for both of them. More so, I don't really care for her. I don't like with the whole yellow bone situation. But as a woman,
that's in the back of my mind right now.
Seeing that, but as a woman seeing that, sweetie, yellow bone isn't really what he likes. Okay. Yeah, he may have treated you better than the other ones, but sis, nobody is above a narcissist and his disrespect. He's going to use you and abuse you. And we saw that's what happened here. Now
drop the mic. Drop the mic.
Stop it right there. Because apparently it wasn't the yellow bones. My God, today.
Yeah.
We can call it a day here. I can give you 8 minutes back in your day, Rebecca, if you like them.
Yes, I got to put up this Christmas tree. I got to work. I got to eat because yesterday I feel like I'm getting a little too slim. I got to keep that ass up. Now, I love you guys so much. I hope that you guys have an amazing day. I felt like it was a Friday. And let me tell you something. I'm going to give you guys a quote before I leave. And this is a quote straight from Lettucey last night. I had to type it in my phone because it was so strong for me. She was talking about a grown woman and how a grown woman, when she's messing with a man that don't do her right and finally gets to the point where she gets all dressed up and she's looking at herself in the mirror and she says to herself, he didn't deserve this anyway. She said, that's how you love yourself. You remember who you are. So when you finally get that moment and you leave, start loving on yourself and remember who you are in that moment. Okay. Because you are that. You are exactly that. You're amazing. You're loved. You deserve to be treated as such. Okay. No narcissist can control you or he has ownership or she has ownership over you. You love yourself. You deserve better and you will have that. I love you guys so much. Like it or not, tomorrow, 9 a.m. I'll see you guys.
Hey, are we going to see you tomorrow, Rebecca?
Tomorrow's Rebecca's day off.
I love how David loves us. I love how David likes to remind me. Thank you, David, because you always remind me about my day off. But
I know it's important.
It's important for me. It's very important for me.
No, days off are important. Time off is important. Yes. We're going to close since we're not going to actually discuss it, but we're going to close with a clip from Trey Crowder, full screen, that just addresses Rittenhouse.
It's cathartic, right?
Since the jury's out. Let him.
He's a comedian.
We're going to give him the mic drop since the jury's out, and I'm sure
we'll talk about it.
It better be good, David, because you're taking the mic drop from a black woman.
That's true. That's true.
I'll be on the show tomorrow because I want to discuss Kyle Rittenhouse, and I know my girl Olay is going to be on as well. So I'll be on tomorrow. I love you guys so much.
All right, we'll leave it with Trey Crowder. See you tomorrow.
Bye.
Yeah.
Well, the Rittenhouse trial has been a complete farce and a stark reminder of the state of our justice system. To wit, never trust a prosecutor. God, I wrote these dudes off as soon as they brought up violent video games last week. Like, what year is it? What are they going to do next? Ask about gangster rap? Call Marilyn Manson to the stand? Are you kidding me? And then their closing arguments included scenes from a Patrick Swayze movie. Like, this is the right hand of justice? Jesus Christ. To say nothing of the comically biased judge in the case. Like, if that guy was a villain in an Aaron Sorkin movie, critics would be roasting how on the nose that character is. No one whose ringtone is Lee Greenwood has a nuanced and even-handed philosophy on gun rights, okay? That motherfucker probably thinks every American middle schooler should be armed, and now he's presiding over the case of the murderous mama's boy. It's bullshit. The whole thing's been ridiculous, and it would be laughable if it wasn't abjectly terrifying, both because you realize that these same factors, incompetent attorneys, prejudiced judges, have conspired to ruin countless lives of those less pasty and privileged in this country over the years, and also because of the implications it has for the future. And I'm not talking about riots. I know the right is lapping it up right now. As soon as he's found not guilty, you know the left's going to burn everything down, and we would never. Right? Yeah, no. Now, to get y'all to riot, we'd have to do something truly egregious, like remove the bust of a slave owner or announce the results of a free and fair election. That's what it takes to get y'all to reach for the tiki torches. Kiss my ass. I'm talking about all the future Rittenhouses out there. And they are legion, buddy. They're out there right now all around this country, pudgy and mediocre, getting cut from sports teams and shot down by would-be prom dates, and they're watching this shit with bated breath, wiping the crumbs off their Punisher shirt and daydreaming about making their own mark on the world. And after seeing how it's gone for Rittenhouse, how he's been lauded as a hero, why wouldn't they try to follow suit? Why wouldn't they go down to the assault rifle store on the corner and strap up, get some other shit with skulls on it, and head to the nearest protest to play vigilante? After all, in their world, it's always open season on Antifa. And now the rest of us got to deal with this fucking mayonnaise militia at every peaceful protest from now until the start of the probable second fucking civil war. So for that and myriad other reasons, I say, to hell with Kyle Rittenhouse. Love y'all. Truth is hard,